Raai wat plant ons daar?
Ek sal maar later gaan Google hoor. Ek het nou vir die eerste keer nou die ander dag van Somerset East gehoor ook. Okay, cool.
That's it in green.
Alright, cool
Maar
guys.
kan jy raai wat ons plant daar?
Also just
Going
remember
back.
please guys to give as many people a chance to ask questions. Please let's just ask one question at a time. If there's time for a second we'll come back to you if that's alright. Alright. Cool beans. Moving?
Hi Thomas, I hope you're well. Thomas, just the Scrum battle on Saturday. You're obviously in the 23 this weekend. We saw the All Black Scrum, George Bow when he came on, made quite a big impact. Just your thoughts on the Scrum battle? And then could you just touch also on Ox Nché making his 50th cap? He's your fellow block. Could you just touch on him as well, please?
Okay, I'll start with Ox. Yeah, I'm incredibly grateful for him as a player and as a person. I'm very glad about him making his 50th. I'm as proud as a fellow teammate can be. Very happy for him, and yeah, hopefully we can do the job to make it a memorable one for him, and obviously for Peter Stephan's 100th. Yeah, Scrum battle, like every other week, it's gonna be something interesting. We've trained hard this week. And I'm sure that they trained as hard as they could this week, and everyone's trying to bring their A game to Saturday, and yeah, we'll do our best at that. But it's something that we pride ourselves in, and they obviously pride themselves in. And when you look at the Lions game, you can definitely see that they've been working on it and going well for them. So yeah, let's hope for the best on the weekend.
Hey Thomas, I just came from Dave Rainey's press conference. He said he felt they would have parity in Scrum this week, but he also said they spoke to World Rugby about the fact that we're walking around in the Scrum, and that was why we had Scrum dominance last week. Do you have a thought on that?
Well, can't really make any comments on the fact of what Dave Rennie has spoken to World Rugby about, but we try and stay within the laws of the game as much as we can, and as much as we perceive it. And there's always two sides to the coin. One person sees one thing, one person sees another thing. So one person's walking around as the other person's straight. Something happens on the other side of the scrum as well, and the ref can only blow what he sees in front of him. So so much credit has to go to the referees on the way that they see these things. They try and see everything, and it must be so difficult to get that part right. And in hindsight, everything is easier to look at. And yes, you could probably make a case both ways. So it's a difficult question, but I think the refs are trying to do their best. The ARs are helping them out with that. As far as what New Zealand are speaking to the other refs about, we just try and focus on what we do well, and hopefully get reward for it.
Thomas, how has this week been in putting what happened last weekend behind you guys, getting straight back down to it, and sort of how's the feeling in the group today in this build-up so far?
I think the important thing for us was to park that game and take the learning as quickly as we can. I think we've done an incredible job over the last couple of years in putting every individual week, every individual game in its own box, and not trying to go back to that box and looking behind us the whole time at what we did wrong, and just trying to rectify as much as we can and trying to make it right as quickly as we can. So I would say by Monday afternoon we kind of parked that game and had a proper review, and took on board the learnings, took the good stuff, worked on the bad worse things of the game, and yeah, it was as easy as that. We parked it, and hopefully just learning as much as we can in the shortest amount of time.
Thomas, just take you back to the scrum situation. And I'm not expecting you to give tactics away, but for us mere mortals, we don't know what's going on in the dark places there. Try and enlighten us a bit about what exactly it takes to get that straightforward, to get in that scrum and get that dominance.
Yeah, I think it's probably not as technical as a lot of people would want to make it or want to perceive it. The important thing is, like I've previously mentioned, staying within the rules, trying to scrum forward on both sides of the pack, loose head and tight head side. And then what kind of happens after that happens. If the scrum wheels or collapses, at least you're trying to show as much of a dominant picture as possible. So yes, there's a lot of technical things that I won't bore you with, but the reality of it is you need to show the referee a good picture in your bind and your setup, scrumming forward on both sides, staying within the rules, and not getting caught up with the technical bits, but trying to show dominance. that is as obvious as I can make it, but I think also that's probably every team's plan. Some teams just get it right and others don't necessarily on the weekend, but scrums, just as in rugby, things change very quickly. One week you can have dominance, next week you won't. So very much about what the referee perceives about the game, what he sees in front of him, which is completely fair. And yeah, you kind of have to put that forward as the way the ref is going to manage the game.
Hi Thomas, thanks for your time. Rugby's greatest rivalry, there's good reason why it's being marketed as such, but do you feel that this is an extra special occasion? Are you conscious of the fact that these are two giants of the game coming at each other?
Yes, I think so. Trying to probably put that at the back of my mind, also understanding that the game needs to be played on Saturday, and we want to win the game. And so it's definitely something in the back of our heads, but it's not a primary focus. It's like I've previously mentioned about putting every game in its own individual block and trying to take the learnings from the previous week and putting it in the work to perform the next week. Just like every other game, we're going to put this one in its own box. And yes, we've got that undertone of what this occasion is, but the reality of it is we want to win on Saturday, and what we need to do during the week is going to be important.
Thomas, I'd like to ask you, we're trying to learn about scrummaging
Yes.
here. Is, because we typically have scrum dominance, how big a difference does it make when the refs don't enforce the ball not going in straight? Is it a big deal, or it's not that big a deal in any case in terms of what we're trying to do?
Yeah, I think if it goes for you, then you would want.
No, I'm talking about the opposition.
Yeah, I think, like we previously mentioned, everyone's trying to stick into the rules of the game. I don't think anyone is trying to do something funny around the scrums. I think with the two packs, especially for the weekend and last weekend, I don't think there was any tactics necessarily around getting, earning the grey penalties. It's more just showing dominance going forward. So I think everyone is trying to stick into the rules, and we just want to try and be as dominant as we can.
Questions? Back there and then Rob.
Okay. Hi. Can you tell us, sportively speaking, but also mentally speaking, what does it mean to have Siya back in the team?
Yeah, it's great having Siya back in the team. I think he did very well with his rehab to get back as quickly as he could, and he was really trying hard to get back in team. And every time he didn't really feel 100%, he would be big enough of a person to say, "Listen, I'm not ready." And take the extra week, and the physios and the doctor obviously looked after him well. I think it was very big of him to make those type of decisions. I think he made very responsible calls, not only for the team but for himself. And you don't want to play with a niggle or injury or something. So it's great having Siya back again. He's a very vocal person, especially at training, and I feel that helps a lot. Especially, I think he gives a lot of confidence to the younger guys, and then obviously the more experienced guys, they speak his language. So it's great to have him back in the team again.
Speaking of that scrum dominance, was Wilco, Ox and Malcolm had some big scrums last week. Does that sort of fire up an extra, bit of fire in your belly, especially when you're on the bench, kind of wanting to come on to continue that big dominance, and also like seeing the Lions walk one over the whitewash on Tuesday.
Yeah. Listen, definitely, it does show opportunity, but like I say, things obviously can change so quickly within a week. That we really need to put in the hard yards, especially us coming off the bench, to not only try and stay at the same tempo, but actually try and lift it and increase it. So they did very well last week, but unfortunately last week doesn't count for anything. And we need to rectify the mistakes that we made last week, and try and build on that dominance, but knowing that it starts from the ground up. There's no points being given from last week to this week. It starts all over again.
Thomas, speaking on the scrumming conversation, the weather on Saturday is, potential rain on the cards. Just how different, really? I mean, in your opinion, your experience, is it then? Should that be the case on Saturday? To continue having scrum dominance in the game, or do you have to look at other areas to have dominance?
Yeah, listen, unfortunately in this game you can't only have one aspect of the game going firing right for you. You need to have multiple firing at the right time and for the right amount of time in the game. And the scrums will always stay close to my heart, so yes, I'm obviously going to say that it would be great to have scrum dominance throughout the game. But in reality, you need every aspect to fire your kicking game and your attack and your defence and your entries into the 22 and getting over the whitewash. Those are important things as much as the scrum dominance is going to be important.
Just Thomas, on your scrumming, you've obviously scrummed a lot at loose head and tight head. You've been called like a swinger basically. But what do you actually prefer personally for you? Because you've played for the Sharks or at loose head, for the Boks you've played tight head, majority of the start. So just what do you prefer and why?
I am a tight head that can play loose head. I always try and make the distinction between the two, between a loose head that can play tight head and a tight head that can play loose head. I am very much a tight head that can play loose head. I've been enjoying my role at tight head for the last 3 years at Bath quite a bit. Played a couple of games there on loose head, but only basically more to help out with less numbers and stuff like that, and injuries and those type of things. But I am very much a tight head. I would say if I had to play 10 games a year, I would maybe play one, maybe at loose head. So very much a tight head rather than a loose head, and I do prefer it.
Vloggers of these guys?